All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Update, my 1000 Days Challenge. This is day 627, if I get things correctly. Yes, it is. So, yeah, still a little bit busy this week, like I mentioned, maybe in terms of I started my new job this week. So, a little bit of a hectic day itself, and my new job itself definitely do have to work longer hours. But that's something that I want to explore in the next 2 to 3 years in that perspective, in that sense. All right, but above and beyond what the current job is, I'm still trading in terms of my current setup. There isn't much of a systematic trade setup that I do see on the 4-hour chart itself. And then for the shorter time frame, like what I mentioned, if you have entered based on this trade itself, on the Bitcoin itself, you should have to close out the trade yesterday, like what I mentioned, because it lacks the selling pressure itself, especially if you look in terms of the 4-hour chart itself. So the 4-hour chart is not something that I want to see, but there's a very nice bounce towards the upside. And there's actually a lack of selling pressure in that sense. So yeah, otherwise, in terms of the S&P 500 and Nasdaq itself, definitely things looks a little bit more bullish, especially today itself. We do see a very nice bounce, but of course, we are still facing potential resistance towards the upside. On the potential is the fact that we hit the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level itself, and it was a very straight drop. So I do expect a very nice, decent bounce towards at least the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement here at 4.5K itself, in which case, if this is an ABC corrective wave, we could have a further down wave to retest this 0.618 or even 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level itself for S&P 500. And then for Nasdaq itself, we could definitely face some resistance towards near the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level, and then a further drop towards the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level as well. So that's something to bear in mind. And then for ASH and KREP itself, what I do see is that even though we have spread slightly towards the lower end of things, the good thing is that the selling pressure is not picking up pace. So I do see this as a potential good time to get in if you're looking in terms of long-term investment for China market itself, especially for the next 2 to 5 years. But of course, like I mentioned, I really maxed out in terms of my allocation to the China market itself. And yeah, for the remaining of my capital, I'm downsizing for my China capital portfolio to just probably around 20 to 30% of my entire equity portfolio itself, instead of 50-50 that I previously had with US equity itself, whereby I had 40% US equity, 40% China equities, and 20% Singapore entities itself. I've already tentatively moved out almost all of it of the Singapore equities out, leaving just around 10% or less. And then the rest of it currently right now is still sitting in terms of the China equities itself. All right. So in the other case of QSL, I do see a potential formation on here. So even though it did break below here, which is the range region that we do want it to break, but bearing in mind like what I mentioned, if we look in terms of overall structure itself, we are definitely in quite a all-time low in that sense in the recent low. So I'll definitely not be looking to short it even from the trading KREP itself. And there's a potential reversal over here itself, similar to what Bitcoin is formed like yesterday itself. So if we do see a very nice bounce today or even tomorrow itself, we could tentatively be able to flush out people who are actually been short or selling off or who have sold the market and then could potentially panic against a very nice bounce in the coming days or week ahead. All right, and then finally for Bitcoin itself. So as you can see, the correlation between the Bitcoin and the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, whenever they do go up, Bitcoin is a multiplier effect. So it goes up slightly a little bit more. So what I do potentially want to see is that Bitcoin actually close above the 50 and 20 exponential moving average on the daily chart itself, in which case there could be potential reversal or at least continuation towards the upside of things. But yeah, other than that, I'm not looking to enter any trade because being a trend follower, as long as price is below the 200 period moving average from a daily chart, I'm not looking to enter a long simply because the market still definitely looks to be choppy in the trend following kind of strategy. And if you do trade it tentatively, it will be more like a fixed risk to real setup. There'll be a more palatable approach compared to when you're trading a pure trend following trading stop loss approach in the manner. All right, otherwise, that's more or less about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to provide your comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.